We begin today's recording by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we are on. I am on Burrawang land. Where are you, Breeza?
I am on the land of the Djajarurrung people.
We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who are tuning in today.
And wherever you're listening to the potty today, make sure you know whose land you're on. Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. If any of today's conversations have been triggering, please reach out to your local support centre in Australia. That is Lifeline 131114. Let's crack a cam. Meso.
Let's crack an Altina can, Breeza. What have you got in your hot little hand?
Well, I have got La Vie in Rose and I've got the sharing bottle, which I love. What about you?
Oh, sharing's caring. I've got a little can, little travel, little can. It's a little wide mouth. Look, it's like wide mouth. They've really thought of everything, haven't they?
Altina
you know
have.
You know they've been so thoughtful and so generous because they've given our listeners a discount code.
Yes, they have, Meso. It is BFB10 and it will get you 10% off Altina drinks. We love their drinks. We're a massive fan. We've been on them for over 18 months now and their website is www.altinadrinks.com.
Yes, get around them.
Thanks, Altina.
We love you.
Meso.
Breeza.
What's going on?
Mate. Oh, well, funny story. I'm just recovering from COVID, round 2.
Yeah, so this episode will be dropping in December, but we're recording this a little bit early on in November. And yes, round 2, ding-a-ling-ding. How'd you go?
Yeah, not great. It's not great. I'm still recovering, but it's still out there, gang. It's still out there, people. So please take all the precautionary measures that you need to. Just nothing helps it. Like no matter, I had it really bad in January, and then this time
was it as
took
bad?
all the painkillers. It was still It didn't last as long.
Okay.
So last time I was out for a flat out week. But this time it's still chimed over a week now, but still all the symptoms, like, pain, headache, sore throat, like it's on fire, and none of the painkillers work. Nothing works. Nothing eases it. So, it's pretty rough, and my sense of smell and taste aren't great anyway. But this also continually reminds me to appreciate your health when it's good, because it makes me think of people that are in chronic pain or terminal illness, and I think, oh, my God, I'm so lucky that I can get through this. So, but anyway, just be mindful for those people that are, immunocompromised that –
yeah,
I just think if they got it, I just think about if my mum or dad got it and they would be absolutely screwed. Sorry, I cut you off then.
No, I was going to say, Mesa, it's such a nice positive way to reflect when you said, how it makes you realise how important your health is and how lucky we are that we don't have any underlying things going on.
Absolutely. Tell me about you, mate. How's your week been?
My week's been pretty calm.
Love that.
Just been loving the sunshine, actually, Meso. It just brings a whole new lease of life, doesn't it? The sunshine.
Doesn't
the sun,
it?
just the warmth and just the blue skies, because it has been very grey and gloomy. So I've been out and about just loving myself sick in the garden. I was on the shovel, mate. I did the shovel. I was probably on the shovel, I reckon, for about 5 hours over the weekend.
Yes,
just on the shovel. I'm so bunged up from it though. I said to Doc, just buckle up, pal, because you're going to hear me whinge about how sore my back and my arms are from weeding and shoveling for probably the next 4 days.
Sucking it up. Yes. Have you got calluses on your hands?
No, gloves, mate. I have proper gloves when I'm on the shovel.
Gloves,
I've learned that the hard way.
A few splinters.
But no, love a bit of, manual labour. It was hot. I was beat, sweating, I had sweat patches. I was just out there just shoveling dirt. Just loved it.
I love that too when I go home to Dad's and getting on the tools.
You love it. You love it too, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. I love getting grubby and, really getting in there and getting and any opportunity that Dad gets to pull out a power tool, he loves it. So, and he's so encouraging too. Like, he'll let me have a go first. I'm like this little kid. Brilliant. Just eager to let me have a go with a big power saw or I don't know, which is different. Whatever it is, he loves it. It's pretty cute.
Have a crack.
Yeah.
And I love that about our friends, mate. So we've actually our group of friends, our mutual friends, we're all like tradie ladies. Like, we all get in and like love
rough and tumble.
Yeah, love to change a tire on a car. Like, just if you ever got stuck in a pickle, you'd always rely on one of our friends to be there to help out. What's your story?
Can I tell you a quick story? Yeah. Talking about changing a tyre in a car. When I was living in Burleigh Heads, I was walking over to the beach just in bare feet to go for a walk on the beach. Anyway, this car came around the corner. I could hear that it had I could hear that there was something going on with the tyre, when you can hear it. Anyway, this lady pulled up, and it was this little Asian lady and her mum, and her kid was in the back, and clearly the tyre was flat. Like, they weren't going anywhere. So I was just said to them that, there's a phone box over there, call RACV, whatever. And there was not a lot of English going on. She was in real trouble. Yeah. I had a look at it, and I said, let me have a look in the back of your boot. Found the spare and changed it for her. It was raining,
mate,
and there was a guy walking past with an umbrella, and she was flagging down this guy to actually help him, and he just kept rolling, and I'm like, no, I've got it. I had it under control, and I changed her tyre for
brilliant.
her.
That is brilliant. Well done.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
That's
but it actually came round in karma later on that day. I was running across the road, same bit of highway, because I was running late for work because I had helped to change a tyre, and I'd missed the public bus to go to the airport. But this couple pulled up and said, we're going to the airport, our daughter works there, we'll give you a lift to the airport. They could see that I'd just missed the bus.
How good is that?
Yes,
instant. Like, that's like universe instant.
Crazy, hey? So, anyway, Leah,
love a beautiful story,
love a tyre change.
Do you know what I also love too in the handy woman world is when you're at like a cafe and the table's uneven, you get a napkin and you put it underneath. Or you screw. Yeah, I'm all about the napkin, putting it underneath, evening it out.
Yes, I love that.
Can't deal with a wobbly table.
Wonky donkey.
Oh dear.
That's all right.
Now that we've had our hash out of our tradie element, let's get into confession session.
Do it.
Confession session. It's time to play. Where you tell us what you're ashamed to say. Confession session. It's time to play. Spill the tea now that you're alcohol free. Oh yeah.
I actually thought I'd already said this one, and because I've sort of got a little list that I keep sort of deleting stuff off as I've said them. And this one, I was like scratching my head today, and this one was on there. I was like, dead. Anyway, and it would have been 2002, I reckon, ish. Oh, no, it was earlier. It was 2000. There you go, bang.
2000.
Round it out. 2000. And I was doing my, I'm going to butcher this, but my advanced scuba diving ticket course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, because for my 21st, Mum and Dad got me a trip to Vanuatu to do a dive on a sunken ship, right?
Incredible.
But to do that, you had to have your advanced ticket. So a friend and I, who you know very well, we went down. There's a group of us from Bendigo, and we went down to Portsea, which is southern Victoria for our overseas listeners. And so we had to do like a deep dive of, I think it was 40 metres. We had to do a night dive, and we had to do this other, I don't know the terminology, but this other dive. And then we had to do a written test. So it was a whole weekend, right? So we get down there on the Saturday. I reckon we left Saturday morning, and we did the deep dive first, I think, and then that night, and it was pretty cold. So that night we did our nighttime dive. We got out of the drink. It was probably, I don't even know what time of the year it was, but it was dark by 8 o'clock, 8:30. So we'd done that. We're all on a bit of a high because it was that was a really cool experience because we were a bit nervous about it beforehand, but we did it. I'm like, this is cool. So there's probably about, I reckon there was maybe eight of us in the group. maybe 6 or 8. Anyway, so have you ever been to the Portsea pub, Meso?
Oh, a long time ago.
Oh, it's the best pub. It's like the best vibe on the beach, real up and about. So, of course, we went there that night to have a few drinks. Keeping in mind the next day we had another dive to do and we had our written test to do. So off we go to the pub.
There's a lot going on.
Off we go to the pub and we're with quite a party group of people. And so, we just got on it massively. Like we're just not even thinking about the next day. Got on it. And my friend and I, we sort of peeled away from the pack. They were mostly guys. They were all guys, actually. It was just me and my other girlfriend. So all guys and me and this chick. And then I shouldn't call this chick. I just don't like naming names, as you know. No. Anyway, so then we started chatting to this guy that was a local. So we started chatting to him and then he was like, oh, well, do you want to come back to my house? And I think he was offering bongs maybe. And I'm like, disgusting, like don't want to go there. My friend's like, yeah, okay, sweet. So we got in his car in a troop carrier and we drove to his house. Details are really, really sketchy. We drove to his house. I don't know if I passed out on the couch or what happened, or I know we weren't there for long, like really, really sketchy details here. We weren't there for long. Might have had a drink. I don't even know if he pulled out the bong, like – anyway, minor detail. But then we were like, we need to get back to our accommodation. So by this time it was like 4 a.m. in the morning, Meso. And I'm just going, oh my God, we're just this is a bad move. Anyway, the silver lining in this story is we got home. Half an hour later, the other guys on the trip got home. So everyone just tied one on. And then so the next day we did our dive. We passed our exam. We all got through it. Great success. And then I went on to go to a trip to Vanuatu, which was another boozy trip. But, just reckless behaviour, really reckless behaviour. Again, when I look back, reckless behaviour. Went home, went to a guy's house who's an absolute stranger. Don't know if he was intoxicated when he was driving. Just lots of decisions, lots of little, decisions that could have ended a lot worse than they did. Thankfully, touch wood, they didn't. But again, would not have done any of this if I was sober.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. Prefrontal cortex shut down. PFC was left the building. So just put myself and my friend in a potentially dangerous situation. And also yes. Lucky. And oh my goodness, we've all done this. Sorry, I've got Rocky here raining havoc. It's exactly right, Breeza. Like we've all done exactly the same thing. And the other thing that's hungover and scuba diving, bad situation.
Oh, mate, I did the same in Vanuatu and I vomited before I actually did the dive.
Oh,
I vomited before I was going 40 metres under the ocean, like under the surface.
But and this is like that's nuts. Like that makes me feel really like danger zone. But even when you were drinking, was there ever a point that you went, I shouldn't be doing this? You just it just goes it normalises it, doesn't it?
Yeah, and whether that comes with age, that could be an age thing too, though, Mace. I reckon. Like, there's no way I would ever do that now. Oh, hang on a minute. I think once those drinks go into your neck,
exactly.
You're losing that rational decision making.
It's like when Dilrook talked about, first drink's all right, second drink, third and fourth drink, you don't have the same brain that you had at the first drink.
Yeah.
Because you know how every single time we go out, and I said this to a friend recently, he goes, I just want a quiet one. Have you ever gone out and had a quiet one when you've said you've had a quiet one? I think we like to preface because ideally we want to have a quiet one because we don't want to be hungover and a right royal mess the next day. So we but you end up having an absolute riot, don't you? Like you never have a quiet one.
Nah. And
maybe you need to say you're going to have, So maybe you need to say you're going to have an absolute bender and then you end up having a quiet one. I don't know. Crazy, huh? Switch it up.
Over to you, mate.
Thanks for sharing that, mate. I'm sure many, many people will be able to relate to that.
So cringe now. Yeah, it's so cringe.
So cringe. Well, I'm actually going to refer to our reviews, and this is just a reminder for everyone to pop a little review in for us. And I was a bit triggered just a little last week, wasn't I, when we had a little unpack this one. And one of the reviews was just talking about how we talk about our shame stories and we laugh about them, and it just sounds. I'm not going to read you the review. You can go and have a look. And I thought, oh my God, she must have only listened to one episode. And I need you all to understand that we do sometimes laugh at our shame stories because that black humour and laughing about them can be a lot easier and takes away a bit of that shame, don't you reckon, Breeza?
Yeah, 100%.
We get on here and pour our hearts out and basically, we are so vulnerable. And even last night, like sometimes I do my head in before we record and I want to cancel and go, nah, I don't want to do it, or I don't want to put this out there to the world. We're basically putting ourselves out there to be cancelled to the world every single week we get on here, Breeza, and share our deepest, darkest, most putrid, ridiculous, dangerous, horrifying, embarrassing, humiliating stories that we've done. Yeah, not so proud moments. And the reason we do that is because I think so many people out there think nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
We didn't, did we?
No.
So it's normalising it and also going, God, I make really stupid decisions when I'm drunk too. Maybe I need to rein back in the alcohol. That's me. We put ourselves out there to help others. We're not getting on here making a big hoo-ha and a big joke about it and think we're funny. No. What we've done has been stupid. And fortunately, we're here to tell a tale and we're here to help, yeah? And I think one of the most horrifying reviews also is it was the story, I was sharing my story, and at the start of that episode, I'd spoken about being violent. I was violent in that episode, talking about my probably worst shame story ever. But at the end of that episode, I also made a homophobic slur. I used homophobic slang, actually, and I also apologised for that. And I also made very clear that I would never say that sober, because I'm not homophobic in any way, shape or form. But that's all that listener heard, that it was that homophobic slang. I'd been violent. I'm talking about all the shameful, horrible things that I've done when I'm drunk. And, anyway, that's my shame today, that I have done those things and I have put them out there and they do rear their ugly head, and we have put them out there into the world and potential to be cancelled and lose our jobs and tarnish our careers. And I just hope that what we're doing is helpful and that the reviews, and that's why it's so important to get those positive reviews from all of our listeners. You know, it's good to get the ones that it doesn't land with people all the time what we're doing, and that's okay. We're not going to be everybody's cup of tea or what they're looking for. But, I'm not proud of those things I've done.
Yeah, and you were really shaken up. You were shaken up. And I was like, knowing you so well too, Meso, like the review had portrayed a completely different it was the person's perspective of you, which was completely not true to who you are. As you know, at your core.
Yeah.
So I'd back you every day of the week, Meso, and I know how much that did shake you up last week, and it got me a little bit angry as well. Because I'm like, we do put ourselves out there, and these people they might hear 50 minutes of us, and they make this assumption from that 50 minute without listening to other episodes, or without listening to other shame stories and confession sessions. They've just based on one. So just to reiterate what you said, May. So like, we never asked for reviews, but now we're asking. if you like what you hear, we'd just love to know. So because it's really it is important. Thank you. It is. It's important for the potty to grow and get further. And when people have a look at those reviews, it really goes a long way. So we'd really appreciate you all to jump on and give us absolutely. And thank you to those who have already given us a really positive review.
Exactly.
Because we are, geared to negatively. Is it negative bias? I think is the right terminology. Just to focus on that negative, but we have some cracking positive reviews, which I love, and that's what keeps us going as well.
Absolutely correct. So thank you so much for everyone for all of that.
Thank you. And thanks for sharing that, Meso.
That's okay. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your backup.
Anytime, mate. Always. So let's get into today's ep. And this sort of came about this sort of came about, this idea, Meso, you put out there, that as we do, you know, each week, we were sort of talking about how our whys had changed, and we thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about that and just an overall general check-in. You know, we're heading towards the end of the year now, so just a bit of an overall check-in of how we're going with our sobriety journey, with how we're feeling about booze, etc. So I'm going to throw to you, Meso, because I'm about to cough, but I just want to know, because we are in quite different positions in terms of our sobriety. This is your third long stint off the gas, off the sauce, and this is my sort of first long stint off the sauce. So I want to ask you a question about each time you've been off the sauce, can you tell me about your why of being off it and if that has changed?
I think clarity is the biggest thing. That's always been the biggest why, and why I've wanted to get back off it since day from that first go. That's always been the biggest key, is that clarity that you feel, clear-headed all the time, fresh all the time. So that's always been the biggest draw card of why I want to remain sober. And then I guess those first couple of times I didn't know why. I just knew that it was feeling so good, so I just wanted to keep doing that. Now, yeah, it's much the same, I think, and I don't want to bring that chaos back in my life now. It had been so destructive. It had been, you know, detrimental to my previous relationship, and, you know, I wouldn't change a thing of what's happened in the last couple of months. I've grown so much, and I've grown from it because of sobriety, you know. I haven't taken the easy path here. I haven't band-aided it. I've had to sit in all of those emotions and feelings. And if I was to lean into a bottle now, at the minute I felt uncomfortable, it just would blow it all up. It just undoes all the hard work that I've done. And each time I have sat in those horrific grief feelings, and it gets you stronger. Like, it builds the foundations of resilience to move you forward, so that next time you deal with that Everest of emotions, it's a little bit easier, or you can draw in, you get to observe your feelings more and how you handle it and your response and reactions to things, instead of just going straight for a bottle and just taking that edge off or numbing the pain. You're not dealing with anything, are you?
It's so true. It's so true. And do you observe other people, Meso, when like it's just ingrained in our society, like, like you've had a busy day at work, I can't wait to have wine when I get home.
Yeah. And it's just like, cringe.
And even when the day I was at the races, betting a cup, when I was talking to some fellas and I was saying, how it's a busy day, they're like, I bet you can't wait to have a knockoff drink.
Yeah, wow, yes.
Yeah, because it's just that, it just goes hand in hand, because the people relate to relaxing and having a good time is having that booze in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So with your this bout of sobriety, I don't like saying bout, with this stint off the booze.
Yep.
Has your why changed? Like, you sort of got back off it after our conversation we had when I'd been off it for 6 weeks, and you're like, righto, I need to get back off it again because I know how good it is. So how are you feeling now?
Sobriety is the biggest flex. Like, I just feel like you said it, it's a superpower. Like, I feel so, it's a power move. It is. Like, I wish I could describe it better. Like, just the freedom and the clarity and the freshness. I love feeling and looking fresh all the time.
I know,
you know,
right?
Like,
Same.
it's so interesting. I was looking at some photos of some friends on Facebook last night, and they were all on the booze, and I just looked and went, God, you all look so washed up. Like, and then you look at photos of people when they're sober, and everyone just looks fresh. Their skin looks plump and fresh. There's a sparkle in their eye. There's just the clarity and cleanliness, and I just seem to have don't you reckon? There's a different vibe. People just look different. Well, you're not poisoning your body from the inside out, so naturally, healthier. Yeah. But, what do you think?
About the why thing?
Yeah. Sorry, have I answered the why?
Yeah. So what's your why at this very point in time, Meso? What's your why?
why I don't drink.
Yep.
Because sobriety is a gift and I love how it makes me feel, and I don't want to not do that anymore.
Boom.
It's given me more than it's taken away.
Yeah.
Have I said that right?
Double
Booze has
boom.
taken more
Double
than it's
boom.
given me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I love sleeping, having good night's sleep and waking up fresh every day and having more time in the day every single day. Like,
yes.
you know,
Yeah.
being on,
Absolutely.
being present, being
on.
able to, yes. And not wasting
true.
days. Like, let people pencil in a hangover day. I did. Bloody oath I did.
Yeah.
I used to pencil in a hangover day. And like Cooper Chapman spoke about, you've just written off a day of your life. How many times a year that you've just wasted a day? And you know what
it's like? You're obviously coming out of being sick at the moment with COVID, Meso, and you know how like that just slows you down, like, and you want to be doing stuff. So it's like, you know, if you were drinking and you were hungover, you'd be slothing around in bed, not being able to go out and get amongst it. And that's right. And even the party that I was at recently, you know, they were taking Monday off work, or they, you know, got their Hydrolite lemonade icy poles for the next day just to be hungover slobs. Do you know what I mean? But that's normal. That's normalised. It's socially acceptable. I know. And like, I think, you know, if you did do that, and it's every so often, and you give yourself permission to have that day off, I feel like that is different to doing it every weekend and feeling crap and not knowing what it actually feels like to feel good, because you're constantly on this cycle of binge drinking. And then there's Rocky's up and about today.
Sorry,
isn't he?
He's really up and about. I can't believe.
Really
Can
up
you
and
just give me
about.
1 second? I'm really horrified. I took him out this morning. Hang on a second. Sorry. I took him out this morning to wear him out, and
he's just gained a whole new lease of life.
Sorry about that.
It's just the wasting of your time. And look, some people don't get hungover. Yeah. And they can have a night and they can crack on the next day. In a way, I'm glad that's not me, because I think that wouldn't put me off not drinking, because I could still crack on. But at some point, your body still is telling you, okay, well, because you're up extra, you need more sleep. Like, you can't be in that pattern without some side effects.
Correct. Yes.
You know, just because being hungover doesn't mean in bed vomiting, you know, and having the day in bed or the whole day. It could be that you do have an nana nap that day. So there is still effects on, you know, your well-being in your life.
It's still health implications.
Implications. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And who knows what's going on internally?
Oh my God.
When you're pouring that much booze.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Where are you at now, Breeza? What's your why?
Well, thank you for asking. Little update from Breeza.
Yeah.
So I just want to share. So I'll just talk about my why first. So my why initially was because I'm a better mum when I don't drink, and that still is part of my why. But after I had that night out in Sydney, like when I looked at myself in the mirror, I was that washed up person. So it comes back to like a bit of vanity. Because I look better when I don't drink. Health and feeling good. Like, and I just want to share a quick story. So on the weekend, I went to the night markets in town, and got some food. There was all food trucks there. Went to the bar. They had like a pop-up bar there, and there was there was just beer and just like soft drink and stuff. And it was a nice balmy night. And so I had a beer and I picked like a locally brewed beer. I'm like, I'll support the local people. So I had a beer and that was it. Like I was like, yep, had a beer with my dinner. That was it. Doc went back and got another one. I was like, nah, I'm good. Just pulled it up there. That was all fine. And then yesterday when I was, you know, on the shovel, I was just going hammers and tong, sweaty Betty. Went inside. I said to Elkie, right, I'll because she was in the pool. I'm like, I'll come in the pool. I just need to grab a drink. Went to the fridge. There was no non-alcs in there. There was no, I didn't have any. I've got them in my house, but they weren't in the fridge chilling because my shed fridge is broken at the moment. So I'm using my main fridge for everything. And so I just didn't have any in there. So I got a 6-pack of non-alcs, chucked it in the fridge. But I was like, I was just tugging for one. I'd had a friend over that week for dinner and he'd left some, I don't know what brand they were, but they were ginger beer. They were a ginger beer. And so I was like, just want a beer. So I just pulled it out of the fridge like a typical classic ad, knocked the top off it and just sculled it. And I was like, it was just so good. Then that was it. And then I waited for my non-alcs to get cold and had them.
Yeah.
Interesting. My daughter, I left that can, the alcoholic can on the table outside, and then we were having dinner and it was still sitting there, like it was an empty can. And she goes, Mum, this has got alcohol in it. Because it says alcoholic. Because you know how ginger beer can be non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
This one had alcohol in it. And it said alcoholic. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, I've just had one. I said, now I'm drinking the beer that doesn't have alcohol in it. So it was sort of an opportunity to educate her. But, yeah, I was just sort of, again, taking check. And I thought I could continue to drink this boozy beer quite easily, in fact. But I was like, no, it's Monday tomorrow. I've got stuff to do tomorrow. So that little check-in is really helping me just to have, if I chose to have an alcoholic drink, that in my head the next day feeling good, looking fresh, all that is in my head to make me go, just have one. And then also I go, what's the point? Like, and so, I'm still I've changed my relationship, if we can look at it that way.
Yeah.
If I am to have a drink, I know I'm having a drink. Yeah. I'm not going down that path. But still I'm still very much checking in all the time with myself. All the time. Yeah. Like midweek, no, it's not even an option. I'm not even going, I really want an alcoholic drink right now. But those two situations I was in yesterday, if I had non-alcs there, bang, I would have had them. But I didn't. Yeah. And I consciously chose to have an alcoholic drink and stopped it at one.
Yeah.
Which I consider a win. I consider that a win.
Yeah, totally. It absolutely is. And I want to dig a bit deeper into that, talking about how you spoke about midweek, it's not an option. Have you just put a blanket rule on that, or are you having to talk yourself out of that? Is that a constant thing in your head, just going, no?
It's not even a craving, Meso. It's not even there. Yeah, it's just not even. So, because I lead on my non-alcs. If I do feel like I want something during the week, I lead on my non-alcs and just have them. Yep. So,
it's a massive win, I reckon, because you could have easily, like, there would have been a time that you've been going, I've had one now, may as well just have 6.
100%.
Like, just rip that, and then that's that slippery slope,
100%.
So it's great that you're able to take check. Like, if this was 12 months ago, what would that have looked like?
Well, I wouldn't have trusted myself just to have one. And if I had one, I've had one now, I might as well have 10. Like, I just know that. And I just know that, like you said, the clarity, feeling good, all that stuff, I don't want to throw that out the door.
Yeah. Katie Minogue talked about that, because our lives have changed, haven't they? Rather than going from regret and shame and feeling guilty and remorse and, hungover, that was our initial why. Now it's shifted into this light and happy, like, I don't want to give up those sleep. I don't want to give up my good sleep. I don't want to give up these whole fresh days and this clarity and feeling good and feeling fresh. Like, it's really shifted. Yes. I love that.
It totally has. And I go back to, the non-alcs, and I've said this before, how much of a game changer they have been in my life to keep me off the booze or to keep me from reaching for an alcoholic. Like, look at that example, those 2 examples on the weekend. There was no non-alcoholic options there ready available for me. So
unreal.
I took that. I rolled the dice, Meso. But
yes,
I was, because on the Saturday night I was driving, so I was like, that's just non-negotiable anyway. I can only have one. And then yesterday the temptation was there massively, but I just played that tape forward, went back to my why, and then happily had two more non-alcoholic beers, and that craving had gone. Everything has gone out the window.
I love this, and I love. Well done by
fascinating.
you. It is fascinating, and I think you implementing, and we can't it's a really great tool for our listeners is to go back to your why, stay in your lane. Just because Breeza can have one doesn't mean you can have one. Come back to your why, have that mental talk, write it in your notes, call a friend, whatever it is to go, why do I want to revisit this? Do I want to bring chaos back into my life? Can I just have one? You know, that's unreal, Breeza.
And then, isn't it interesting though, Meso, because everyone's so different. I was speaking to a lady during the week, and I think she's been listening to the potty, but I was having a chat to her, and she was, I can't remember the last time I was drunk. She said, but every night when I get home from work, I have like 2 glasses of, I think it was champagne or wine or whatever. She goes, that's just my routine. Have 2 glasses during the week. I don't know what her drinking was like on the weekend, but she said, I can't remember I couldn't tell you the last time I was drunk.
Oh, no.
So that's her relationship with it.
Yeah.
But she did say,
is she comfortable with it?
No, she did say, I do want to break that routine, break that mold. Because she was asking me about non-alcoholic bubbles, and she said, I don't care like if it's got alcohol in it. I just like that bubbles. I just like the bubbles in it. And just that whole ceremony.
There you go.
Yeah, so I feel like someone like her with her current relationship is that she could, wean herself off the alcoholic version onto a non-alc if it tasted good, because it's got the bubbles in it, and whether or not she did get a buzz from the 2 glasses of champagne. I don't know if that would be missing for her. Not sure, but yeah, I was like, really. I was like, how could you not want to drink more? But it's she's just got that. Everyone's different. With where they are.
And did you think everyone was like us when we first started?
Totally, mate. I just thought, thought you drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? You just have 1 or 2?
Yeah. I found that actually when I started working, when I started flying and talking to people about their drinking, and I kind of went, what do you mean? Yeah. I really thought everyone just got hammered like us. Like, I guess because our kind of friendship groups love it too. Like,
we love it.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. And there's nothing, whatever floats your boat. Going on what you're talking about, your friend midweek, or the lady you were talking to midweek, you know how I spoke on the potty about my friends coming to the pub with no booze, and I was like, just come along. They came, and husband came as well, which is incredible. So thank you so much, team. And to their massive surprise, he probably thinks he might bring a couple of like non-alc beers during the week as well. Like,
how good,
isn't it? Like, just to obviously, just midweek, just to throw a couple of wedges of non-alc, and I'm sure he will. There's no doubt. Him going that day, he was surprised. He was pleasantly surprised, of what it was all about, how fun it was, and how good the drinks tasted, and because that midweek stuff when you wake up feeling dusty on a Wednesday because you've had a few drinks because the kids are going nuts and stuff. It'll just he'll wake up feeling fresh. So and then that will ripple effect. He will tell his mates about that too, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think because the weather, like the weather's warmer as well. Like it's so easy to get home from work and just. Next minute, a 6-pack, 12-pack of beer has gone.
Correct.
Especially it's hot. Yeah. Especially the manual, like lady tradies like ourselves, and and male tradies, because they're doing that manual labour. They're hot and sweaty. So easy just to knock back. As I said, a 6 or 12-pack. So that conversation is changing. That guys would go or girls would go. Maybe I will swap out those alcoholic beers into non-alcs during the week, and then on Thursday night I'll allow myself to have an alcoholic beer, or just to change that behaviour is massive. Yeah,
because it's all about health, really, which we never think about it. We've never really put the correlation between drinking and health. We just know we're going to be hungover. Like I saw a post actually of an influencer the other day talking about being hungover or what's your hangover remedy, or she's never not going to be hungover, and I cringed, and I'm just like, why are we doing TikToks about how to get like how to deal with not being hungover, and talking about the exercises you can do? How about let's just not drink? Like,
but mate, I would have saved that. You and I would have both saved that and then shared it with our friends.
Totally, exactly. Any remedy, come at me. But isn't that funny? But we would never consider removing alcohol. That would just not be an option, or to have a wedge of a non-alc and an alc. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
It's funny, like listening to. Sorry, I cut you off then.
No, go for gold. That's it.
I was just going to say, and I know you relate to this, May. So, like listening to some podcasts that have like an underlying theme of mental health, and people talk about, you know, the exercise helps them, that mindfulness helps them. I have not heard that I can remember, and I don't know if you have, May. So, I've not heard anyone say I don't drink. Or I have, you know, bouts of off the sauce because of my mental health is so much better when I don't drink. I haven't heard that. So still feel like that conversation is not there fully. When I think of like, you know, I think of I don't know, I think of people talk about other diseases such as, for example, anorexia. That comes back to mental health. It's not an eating disorder as such. Like it comes back to someone's mental health as to why they go down that path. I don't know what I'm trying to get at there.
No, well, it's
just
not
the link with
sexy
mental
to
health
admit
and
that. Yeah,
booze.
like it's. Sorry, I cut you off. Yeah,
No, you
well,
go.
It's not like if someone's going to say, oh, you know, no one wants to admit that alcohol might be a problem in their life. And when I'm talking problem, it's not serving them. Problem can be hungover and you've written the next day off if you're feeling rubbish the next day. Like that's a bit of a problem, isn't it, if it's impeding on your life in some fashion? But no one wants to admit that because that's not sexy, is it? Because alcohol is so socially acceptable.
And when you've got a friend that's down and out, you bring a bottle of wine and you hash it out with them.
Yes.
So I still think that conversation is it's there, but it's not. It's a fair way to go with mental health and booze awareness.
Yeah. So I've written a few notes here, Breeza. How do you feel about booze now? How do you feel?
Do you know what was a turning point for me, Meso? There was two conversations we had this year that were turning points for me. The first one was with Sunshine of Ray of Sunshine.
Yes.
Little Ray of Sunshine, Ray Ellis. Razor Ray, who has never drank alcohol before. He's never been drunk. And he was very like, he was saying that, you know, people celebrate with alcohol. That's fine. But it's when they take it too far. So I was like, yep. And even Cooper Chapman, he said the same. He was like, alcohol, there's, you know, a place for alcohol, but it's all about mindfully drinking, which is what his whole company, Gravity Seltzer, is about. So I think this time last year I was just like a hard no. This time this year I am still a hard no with binge drinking for me. But I am exploring having one or two.
There you go.
Yeah. Which makes
I can see that pain on your face that you just like, there's a lot of deals going on.
I know. I don't, if I have alcohol, if I go to a party and have a glass of champagne, I still want to have my non-alcs. They're still forefront of my tool belt. And using them to be, you know, feel included and all that sort of stuff. I just am still, there's no inkling in me now at this moment to get blind drunk.
Yeah.
Even though I know that there has been fun times on it, but the aftermath for me, it's not worth the payoff.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% there.
And just, 100%. We go back to how much more stuff you get done, all that when you're not drinking.
Yeah. What is Booze Free Dad? One choice, many wins.
One choice, many wins. Yes, yes. What about you, mate? What about you?
Well, I've actually written a few notes.
Oh, tell me your notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was jotting down last night of how I feel about booze, and I think because we've had Fiona O'Loughlin on talking about addiction, and with that, there's a lot of. I feel like a lot of talk about addiction is in my stratosphere at the moment, and so I'll read you what I've written.
Yeah.
So how I feel about booze, it's socially acceptable except that it's ethanol. It damages the frontal lobe, causes cancer. It's 1 in 10 will be addicted. Can you think of anyone you know, Breeza, that hasn't had a bust up, someone die, something horrific's happened as a result of alcohol?
No.
Something bad has happened as a result of alcohol, all right?
Yep.
But I don't want to sound preachy because I sound like a bit of an anti-vaxxer. So I don't want to be like like I'm vegetarian, and like there's guys that I'm talking to online, and the conversation about vegetarian comes up, and I have to preface by saying I'm not noisy, like I'm not a vegan, and no offense to vegans, but a lot of guys or people think you're going to get noisy about being a vegetarian. Yeah, and I'll say, no, I don't care. If you want to eat your T-bone, go for gold. I'll stick it out. Like I'm happy. I'm not going to be. So if you want to drink alcohol, that's your choice. What you put in your body is your choice. However, a post that I did yesterday was if you say that you're not, if you pass on drugs or, what was it? Drugs or might have been heroin or whatever it was, but if you say you're not going to drink alcohol, people get sceptical.
Yeah, I saw. Did I see that from what you shared?
I put it on BFB. Yeah, do you want me to see if I can find it again?
I saw that and I was like, boom.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll just
it was a ripper. It was a ripper. Find it. Find it.
I'm not great at the tell people you don't smoke or do drugs and they think you must be health conscious. Tell people you don't drink and they become skeptical. And do you know what, actually, one of my friends said to me, and I didn't know this, is that, and how many times you had people say to you, never trust someone that doesn't drink?
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, heaps.
Wow. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, wow.
Trust them all.
Wow. Yeah, trust them all. So I said here, I have to let friends come to their own choice in their own time because I don't want to pressure friends into, but I have noticed a significant change in friends that have listened to the pod or they see what we're doing and they have a look at their relationship with alcohol too and so I'm proud of them for that, but I'm never going to beat them with the sober stick either.
Yeah.
And I said that, I'm really proud of what am I saying here? I said I feel sad for previous loved ones who were close to me that choose alcohol and take the easy path by dousing feelings and emotions and themselves in booze. I said I'm proud of slogging it out sober and feeling all the feelings. I said the connections and opportunities that have come when your eyes and heart are open instead of it being in a haze of booze-filled stupor, escaping reality in yourself has just been extraordinary. I said dating or entertaining the idea at the moment with alcohol is a whole new world. I've used booze to cope and it's a tricky world into the dating scene as well. It might put people off or, they wonder whether you're an alcoholic or what did you, I don't know. Like what, actually we haven't even said that. Once this episode drops, that's December, how long have we both been sober for?
Well, if I go to my little I Am Sober app.
Yeah.
Well, I can't technically say that now.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, I haven't looked at it.
Oh, sorry.
I haven't looked at it. Well, I'll be like 530-ish, 540 days. But, yeah, I can't say that now. I'm at the club.
What about the soberish?
I'm in the mindful. I'm not even calling myself mindful drinking. I'm just, I still say, like, I just say, I don't drink. I've had a couple here and there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Where will you
You can call it whatever you want.
Totally.
Yeah, sorry,
that's why I haven't looked at it.
That. Well, actually, and I think that's why we changed the bio on our on our Instagram.
Yes, anyone see that?
Yeah, have a look. We call ourselves Probs the Best Soberish podcast.
We've had to rebrand,
which is good though. Which I love that we come up with from different angles and we bring both colours and lenses to this because people will so relate. And it challenges people
everyday gals.
Yeah, living and learning
trying to get along in this big bad world.
Yeah.
Have you still going with what you've written down? That's beautiful, Meso.
That's okay. I think so. And so I will be about 16, what is it, 12, 13, 14, about 16 months, I think, once it rolls over, once this drops. All going well. And also, I was going to ask what our drinking looked like prior, but we can leave that for another episode. But also I just alcohol-free drinks, like they're all sparkly new. Like if you were to walk into a bar and you know everything that's in that bar. You know all the drinks, all the spirits, don't you? We all know them. Whereas the alcohol-free world now, it's so exciting. We don't know what they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is really got all these sparkly new drinks that we can try. I find it really interesting when people say, you know, I could never do that. I wish I could do that. And then they give you that explanation of what they drink. Do you know what I mean? Do you find that still?
Oh, yeah. I've had that plenty of times. Still get it.
Yeah, I love it. And so back to the why again is, feeling, not looking washed up, feeling fresh. I don't look haggard and depleted and dehydrated, unhealthy, unkept, and looking that shame behind people's eyes as well. The other thing that with that thing about addiction, sorry, I've jumped from about 7 different tangents, is Matthew Perry's got a book out. He speaks about his dad was an alcoholic, like drank every single day of his life. And then one day he went for a walk and then decided he wasn't going to drink anymore and he just never drank again. Whereas Matthew Perry, father's son, has spent $7 million trying to beat his addiction.
Wow.
Opioids and alcohol.
Wow.
And you hear the way that he talks. He narrates the book as well. It's on audio book as well. And you can hear like his speech is a bit wobbly as well. Like so the damage that he's done to his frontal lobe. So yeah, it's frightening. And I think that there's actually, I'm going to drop it today and I almost wanted to play it on here, but I don't know how it would come through the podcast about addiction. It's a 1.5 minute clip that just talks about, should I play it? Or I'll play it. I'll post it on the
post it, yeah.
Anyway, so that's my hash out.
Another fantastic TED talk on addiction is Johan Hari. Starts with a J. It's a 15-minute one. And he talks about Rat Park, which you would have heard of, Beso. Rat Park.
Rat Park.
Yeah.
Rat Park.
They did the experiment in the, I'm going to say 1970s.
Oh, yes. Where they put coke in the water.
Yeah, heroin in the water. And then, they have the rats that are in this amazing facility and none of the rats actually have the heroin water because they're all connected. They're having fun. Having wholesome fun on their little playground. Yeah. But I think my whole point to all that is 1 in 10 become addicted. So, you know, I think we just need to have a better understanding that although alcohol is just so socially acceptable, it could be one of us. And if you're listening to this now, sorry, mate, okay, I forget. I'm queering the cut-offs today.
Go. Yeah. Chop.
Loves the cut-off. If you're listening to this ep and no matter what your drinking looks like, if there are reasons why you want to improve your relationship with booze, start writing down why you want to improve your relationship. Like what is it in your life that's alcohol's holding you back from?
Love that.
Yeah, so just jot some things down. You know, we're not saying you must stop drinking right this moment, but it's about, you know, improving that relationship with booze, your relationship with booze. So start jotting down some stuff, setting some little goals.
Breeza. Yeah, ask yourself, is alcohol really serving you? Is it taking away more than it's giving you? And there's so many, you know, AA is there, but there's so many other support systems out there to assess it. So
and try it out.
Don't be scared. We're all the same. We're all the same.
Yeah. What's there to lose? Honestly, if you have a month off the booze, what's there to lose? Like honestly,
exactly. You will feel
absolutely
so good.
Nothing.
So good. So fresh.
It's a phone fucking with the pH. So we can give it F with the call or text. Phone fucking with the pH. Give it a ring.
Okay, this comes from not a friend, not a close friend, just an acquaintance, we'll say, and we'll have a conversation and we'll talk about the potty. She goes, "Oh my God, I've got a great phone fuck up with the pH for you girls." So she was she was home alone on it was Friday, Saturday night, and whichever night it was, she had bought herself a vibrator and some, and so she's like, "Oh, give it a crack." Like she'd had a few drinks and she'd pulled out she'd bought some, I don't know what brand it was, but some lube, and she noticed on the lube it said that it was glow in the dark, like it was a glow in the dark lube or something about it was glow in the dark. I don't know if it was actually glow in the dark when you put it on your bits, but anyway, something about it was glow in the dark. So she'd been busy like messaging friends throughout the night, as you do when you're on the piss. And so she went to Snapchat her friends, like her friend, to show her this lube. And so she was doing the full commentary about it, saying, look, you put up to light and then you turn it off and you can still see it, like full thing, and added a bit more context to why she had the lube. Anyway, instead of sending it to her friend, she sent it to, like on Snapchat, how you send it to everyone. Sent it to everyone. And didn't realise until she started getting people had replied back to her.
Oh, no.
And then she was like, dead. So she then deleted it then. But, yeah, she said she was absolutely mortified. Yeah, too far. So,
my God.
So, you know, they got to see what she was up to on a Saturday night because she was boozed up. Epic fail.
I love that. Yeah, whoopsie doopsie.
So thank you for telling us that one person.
Yes, thank you.
Who will remain nameless.
Thank you. Where's that lube glow in the dark though? I'm keen to know about that.
I'll ask her. I'll circle back.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
You ever been in a float tank?
I have indeed. Yes.
Have you?
Yeah. There's one here. There's one in Bendigo.
Ah, yes. Of course, I actually did know that because I bought a friend a voucher for there. It was a long time ago. It was before COVID. In fact, this all happened actually well before COVID, to be honest. So, but I finally went to the float tank recently.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Dead Sea? You would have been to the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
Love the Dead Sea.
I don't know how much salt is in it. What's the salt?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like it'll burn, baby, burn.
The amount of salt.
Yeah,
it's like thick. It's like syrup. It's like oil, like the thick. Oh,
it's like pancake mixture. Pancake mixture, isn't it?
It is. It is the consistency. Anyway,
but how amazing is it on your
skin? Gives
you
buoyancy. Yeah, it's stunning. It's stunning.
It's the best. Yeah.
So there's a float tank. It's Beyond Rest in Paran is the one that I went to and loved it. I've got an hour in there.
Oh, brilliant.
Since what do they say? Float Rest has been found effective on reducing anxiety, showed that a single hour session in a sensory deprivation tank was capable of significant reduction of anxiety, improved mood, and 50 participants of stress anxiety. That's all about what does it do for your body. Main benefit is eases mental and muscle tension. Due to the buoyancy, Epsom salts and water solution, you can fully relax all of your muscles when floating. There was a similar experience to zero gravity. So it was beautiful.
How much was it, mate? How much for an hour?
Well, that was a gift, but I think it's about either $70 or $90. So it's a bit exy, but I think
like
you
a
can
massage
buy
though. That's what a massage would be. Yeah.
It's a bit of a treat. It's a bit of a treat, but they're popping up everywhere. But yeah.
And did you fall asleep or what did you?
Yeah,
what did you do?
I have it now. I spun around and flapped about a little bit.
Rolled around.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a roll around, but then I did go to sleep, and it's just so relaxing just to zone out. And then I think it's just gorgeous afterwards. They've got a little aftercare area where you have your little cup of tea and you just chill out. And you just feel so. It's just a really beautiful. I don't know, just to be away from, it forces you to do nothing.
Yeah.
Just be in that moment. No technology, no TV, and it's all about you and just being just really present. And it's a completely luxurious thing to do. And not everyone that's listening will have a float tank nearby, but Hot Springs also a similar thing, but I'll do that next time. Okay, what have you got?
Thanks.
Did you love it?
Oh,
did you love it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
This is a while ago now. Can't remember. It's like 4 or 5 years ago. I loved it. Mine sort of is actually, before I say mine, another unreal mindfulness thing that we've spoken about in this episode is scuba diving. That's a really, really, again, you've got to have the ticket and the equipment and all that sort of jazz. So it's not like you can just whip out of home and go for a scuba dive. But yeah, I found that to be a really beautiful, mindful. Mindless, whichever way I want to look at it. So this one will blow your socks off because I am not a green thumb at all, but I spent the weekend gardening, and normally if I was like gardening, I like like rewind 2 years ago, I'd have a can in hand, I'd have my pods in, and I'd be, doing gardening. This time round, it looked like I chose not to have my phone near me, and I was out in the garden, didn't have my pods in or anything, and I just had the sounds around me, cars, people walking by. So I got to say hi to people that were walking by, or real chatty. And then when if the kids were out and about, I'd be chatting to them as well. So I was really present in the moment, and I just hashed it out in the garden. And then I could look back at when I drove home this morning, Maso, after I had a meeting in town and came back here for the potty. I drove in. I'm like, oh my God, look at my garden. Like I could see the results. I'm like, boo, yeah. Because it was like a forest. It was like it was shocking because all the rain and now the hot weather. I was just gone berserk. Now I look at it like, oh my God, look at it. I did that. So gardening, people, have a crack. I am Mrs. Hate gardening, Mrs. Hate, like just not into it, but I really enjoyed it.
Good on you, mate.
Had me hat on, had me like tradie lady gear on, and off I went.
Yeah, your hard yakkers. That's so good. That's a great. It actually inspires me to get out and sort my balcony out and get.
Yeah,
just have a bit of work.
Yes, it does. Love it.
Make you feel
love it.
Great hash out. Get out.
Great hash out. Must be coming to the end because I'm stretching because I'm so sore from shoveling. So I need to keep moving.
Move it. Just seize right along.
Great hash out, Maso. I can't believe we're coming to the end of this year. Craziness, but that was a really really timely topic.
Yeah,
our listeners.
Recess. Go back on your whys.
Yep,
and it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Yep.
Well, we will be back in ear holes next week, and we've got a guest on. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that because I don't have it written in front of me. So surprise! It'll be a nice little surprise. Well, we've got it written down, but I think we haven't locked it in yet. So at the time of this recording, anyway, we'll get there. We always do. Always do. By the way.
Yep. Always. All right.
Okay. Over and out. Thanks for listening, guys. See ya. Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.